Hello, you guys. Today we will be going over my leadership capstone project, everything this semester has taught me. To start off, throughout this semester, I have spent a lot of time reflecting on what leadership actually means and how my perspective on it has changed. Before this experience, I think I viewed leadership as something that was mostly connected to a position or title, or even just someone who was in charge. I thought of leaders as managers, executives, or people who had authority over others. However, though, through my experiences, my conversations, and reflections, I have learned that leadership is so much more than having a title. It's about creating meaningful connections, inspiring others, and using your influence to help others succeed. To me, leadership is about the impact you have on the people around you. It is about building trust, encouraging others, and creating an environment where people feel supported and motivated to grow. A leader does not have to be the loudest in the room or the person with the highest position. Leadership can happen in everyday moments through the way we communicate, help others, and show up for the people around us. So, with my interview, one of my leadership activities, I interviewed my dad about his experiences with leadership and leadership styles that have shaped his career. I chose to interview him because I've always looked up to him and the way that he interacts with people and handles challenges. I wanted to learn from someone who had years of experience working with different teams and leading others. One of the biggest takeaways from our conversation was that leadership is built on trust and relationships. My dad explained that the most effective leaders are not just focused on completing tasks or achieving results. They are focused on the people they are working with, building relationships, understanding your team, and creating trust that allows people to feel comfortable, respected, and even just motivated. Something that stood out to me was the idea that people are more willing to follow a leader when they know that person genuinely cares about them. Leadership is not just about giving direction, it's about listening, communicating clearly, and supporting people through challenges. This interview really helped me understand that strong leaders start with connection. The relationships you build are what creates the foundation for success. Another major part of leadership growth this semester was reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book really connected with leadership because it showed me that growth does not happen when one big moment or one major change. Instead, growth comes from small actions that are repeated consistently over time. One of the biggest concepts I learned from this book is that small habits compound. A small single improvement every day may not seem significant at first, but over time, those small changes create a major impact. Another idea that stood out to me was the importance of identity based habits. James was very clear that focusing only on what you want to achieve doesn't work. You need to focus on what you want to become, the type of person who naturally achieves those things. For leadership, this means becoming someone who practices leadership qualities every day. Instead of I want to become a leader, it's about asking what does a leader do? A leader communicates, listens, supports others, and takes on responsibilities. Now, my mentor takeaways. One of the biggest experiences this whole semester was my internship with Visit Jacksonville. During my internship, I had the opportunity to work with tourism marketing, create social media content, contribute to projects, and learn from professionals in the industry. A major part of this experience was being able to learn from my mentor, Autumn Leach. Autumn really showed up for me and showed me what professional leadership looks like. She was someone who was always willing to answer questions, provide guidance, and help me understand the reasoning behind different marketing decisions. One of the biggest things I learned from her was the importance of confidence and being able to take initiative. She trusted me with the responsibilities, but she also created an environment where I felt comfortable asking questions and making mistakes. Seeing how she communicated with her coworkers and approached her work showed me that leadership does not only have to be formal. She led by example through her attitude, professionalism, and willingness to support others. My time at Visit Jacksonville helped me understand that leadership in the workplace is about collaboration, creativity, and helping the people around you succeed. Now, on to my mentee takeaway. I have been babysitting Sienna and her two younger sisters for a while now. And through that experience, I realized how much influence you can have on someone simply by being present and supportive. Being a mentor taught me that leadership isn't always about teaching someone a specific skill. Sometimes leadership is simply showing someone that they are valued, encouraging them, and being someone they can look up to. One of the most meaningful moments from this experience was getting to attend Sienna's performance at UNF. Watching her perform and seeing how confident she was reminded me why mentorship matters. It showed me that the time and encouragement we give to others can have lasting impacts. This experience helped me understand that leadership is about investing in people. Even small moments of support can help someone grow and believe in themselves. Now, my evidence of growth. When I look back at the beginning of the semester, I can see a major difference in how I viewed leadership. Before this semester, I saw leadership as something that was mostly connected to authority and being in charge. I thought a leader was someone who had a position that gave them responsibility over others. Now my perspective has completely changed. I see leadership as influence, connection, and service. A leader is someone who creates opportunities for others, supports their growth, and builds relationships based on trust. I have also learned that leadership is something I can practice now, even before I have had a leadership title or a management position. Through my mentorship experience, interview with my dad, and lessons from Atomic Habits, I have developed a better understanding of the type of leader I want to become. I want to become someone who leads with empathy, communicates effectively, and helps others feel confident in their abilities. Here is one of my favorite stories from my internship with Visit Jacksonville. When I was attending the Visit Jacksonville's Tourism Summit, it was the most memorable experience because I got to see everything that happened behind the scenes to create such a successful event. Being there was exciting because I was able to experience the tourism industry from a different perspective. Instead of seeing the final event, I got to understand the planning, teamwork, communication, and coordination that goes into making something like this happen. At first, I was honestly a little nervous to be surrounded by so many professionals in the industry. It was intimidating to be in that environment, but also so inspiring. Meeting different people, seeing how passionate they were about Jacksonville, and watching professionals collaborate reminded me of why I was interested in tourism marketing and public relations. This experience showed me that I want a career where I can create meaningful experiences, tell stories, connect people to organizations, and communicate. Looking ahead, I want to continue developing as a leader professionally and personally. My goal is to work in tourism marketing and continue to build my skills. I want to use storytelling and social media to showcase places and create meaningful experience. This semester has taught me that leadership is not about waiting until you have a certain position or title. Leadership starts with the way you treat people, the effort you put into your work, and the impact you make on others. As I continue to learn my leadership goals, they grow into a leader who inspires and supports others, and to lead teams through collaboration, creativity, and communication. Thank you so much for listening, and to everyone who was a part of my leadership journey. I have learned so much throughout this whole semester, and I had a great time as well. Thank you.